The moment my sister Amanda announced her engagement at Sunday dinner, I knew trouble was coming. She'd always been the golden child who married into money, whose life looked perfect from every angle. I was the divorced single mother of two, barely scraping by in everyone's eyes. They had no idea what I'd actually built. "We're having the wedding at Riverside Gardens," Amanda announced, her diamond ring catching the chandelier light. 200 guests. The waiting list is 18 months long, but Marcus's family has connections. I almost smiled. The waiting list existed because I'd made it that way, made the venue exclusive enough that people begged for dates. My daughter Emma, 8 years old, clapped her hands excitedly. "Can I be a flower girl, Aunt Amanda? I'd wear the prettiest dress and be so careful." The table went silent. My father set down his fork. My brother shifted uncomfortably. Amanda's smile tightened. "We'll see, sweetie," Amanda said, her voice strained. My mother jumped in quickly. "Amanda has so many important people to invite. Business associates, influential friends. Very sophisticated." The emphasis on sophisticated wasn't subtle. I nodded, cutting my chicken carefully. "Sounds beautiful." "The venue costs $40,000 for the rental," Marcus added, leaning back proudly. "Not including catering or flowers. We're looking at $250,000 total." My son James, 10 years old, whispered, "Mom, are we invited?" Before I could answer, my father cleared his throat. "Of course you are. Your family." But Amanda's expression told a different story. "Of course you are," I said quietly, though something cold settled in my chest. 3 weeks later, Amanda invited me to lunch at an expensive bistro, the kind where salads cost $30. "I need to talk about the wedding," she said, not meeting my eyes. I set down my water glass. "Go ahead." She took a breath. "Marcus and I have been going over the guest list. We're really stretched thin. His family is huge and we have colleagues to invite for business reasons." "Amanda, just say what you need to say." Her jaw tightened. "Your kids aren't worthy of the guest list. We're keeping it upscale, sophisticated. Children don't fit the aesthetic we're going for. Plus, James has that hyperactivity issue and Emma can be so loud. We can't risk them disrupting everything. Not with the kind of money we're spending." Something cold settled in my chest, but I kept my voice steady. "They're your niece and nephew. And I love them," she said quickly. "But this is my wedding. It's one day. Surely you understand that some events are just for adults." She leaned forward. "Besides, can you even afford appropriate outfits? The dress code is black tie. I'd hate for them to feel out of place." I picked up my purse. "I understand perfectly. You're still invited," she added quickly. "Just not the kids. I'll even pay for a babysitter that night." I stood up. "Thanks for lunch, Amanda." As I walked to my car, hands steady on my keys, I texted Sophie, my wedding planner. We'd worked together for 6 years, since I bought Riverside Gardens as a bankrupt estate and renovated it into the city's premier venue. Sister's wedding. September 15th. Check booking. Her response came within seconds. "Already on it. Want me to proceed with standard protocol?" Standard protocol meant canceling and blacklisting. I typed back, "Not yet. Let her keep planning. I want to see how far this goes." Sophie knew exactly what I meant. She'd watched me build this business from nothing while my family assumed I was failing at some generic hotel job. Over the next month, Amanda's wedding plans escalated on social media. Designer dress fittings at boutiques that actually rented my venue for trunk shows. Cake tastings at bakeries that paid me referral fees. Her bridesmaids posting about matching robes and spa days. None of them were me. My mother called every week with updates. "Amanda's so stressed with all the planning. You should really offer to help more. Maybe do something nice." "I'm sure she has everything under control," I said, watching my kids do homework at the kitchen table of the house I'd bought with my business profits. At another family dinner 2 weeks later, Amanda held court at the head of the table, showing everyone her photographer's portfolio on her tablet. "He shot 3 celebrity weddings last year. Costs $15,000, but his work is absolutely museum quality." Emma tugged my sleeve hopefully. "Mom, when is Aunt Amanda's wedding? I want to see her pretty dress." "September 15th, I said quietly, smoothing her hair. "Can I help her get ready?" Amanda overheard, her expression shifting to something practiced. "Actually, Emma, the wedding is very late at night, way past your bedtime. That's why you're not coming. It's a grown-up party. My daughter's face fell and I watched her try to hide her disappointment. Oh. Okay. Don't look so sad, my mother said. Your mom can tell you all about it afterward. Marcus cleared his throat. We're having an unplugged ceremony. No phones or cameras except the professional photographer. How considerate, I said, my voice neutral, my hand on Emma's shoulder. Amanda shot me a look. Some of us want our wedding to be elegant and memorable, not a circus. I smiled and said nothing, cutting my food into precise pieces. 2 weeks before the wedding, Sophie called me at the office. Your sister's planner just contacted me about some last-minute additions to the package. They want upgraded lighting, extending the reception by 2 hours, and they're asking about our premium bar package with top-shelf selections. What did you tell them? That I'd need to check with ownership about availability and pricing. The additions would run another $12,000 on top of what they've already paid. Send her the quote. Standard rates, no family discount. She's not going to be happy about this. She's already complained twice about our prices being higher than she expected. Then she's welcome to find another venue, I said calmly, signing off on an invoice. With 2 weeks to go, I'm sure that'll be easy for her. Sophie's laugh was dry. I'll send the quote right now. That evening, Amanda called me, her voice tight with barely controlled anger. Can you believe Riverside Gardens is trying to charge us $12,000 for some basic upgrades? Just lights and a few extra hours. They're completely taking advantage of us because they know we can't back out. That does sound expensive, I agreed, putting her on speaker while I helped James with his math homework. Marcus is absolutely furious. We've already paid the $40,000 deposit and half the rental fee. We're locked in and they know it. She paused. You work in hospitality at that hotel. Don't you have any connections? Anyone who could talk to the owners and maybe get us a better deal? I'll see what I can do, I said, circling a wrong answer on James's worksheet. Please. This wedding is already costing a fortune and now they're being so difficult. Our planner says the owner is never available, always too busy to meet. What kind of business operates like that? I made a sympathetic sound. Very frustrating. 1 week before the wedding, Amanda hosted a bridesmaids' luncheon at my parents' house. I wasn't invited, but I dropped by to return a dish my mother had lent me. Through the bay window, I could see Amanda surrounded by her bridesmaids, all laughing and drinking champagne from crystal flutes. My mother met me at the door, blocking my entry. You can't come in. It's bridesmaids only. Amanda was very specific. Just returning this. I handed her the casserole dish. From inside, I heard Amanda's voice carrying clearly through the open window. Honestly, I'm doing her a favor by not inviting those kids. Can you imagine them running around breaking things? The venue has actual antique furniture, real crystal. We can't risk any damage with what we're paying. One of her friends laughed. Plus, we all know she can barely afford to dress them properly. They'd probably show up in department store clothes to a black tie wedding. How embarrassing. My mother glanced at me, embarrassed, but said nothing. She just took the dish and closed the door. That night, Sophie texted me. Your sister's planner is having a complete meltdown. They want to do a final walkthrough tomorrow and I've been stalling for 2 weeks now. What do you want me to do? I stared at the message for a long moment, thinking about Emma's disappointed face, about Amanda's voice saying my children weren't worthy. Schedule it. 3 p.m. sharp. Tell them the owner will be present. Are you absolutely sure about this? Very sure. It's time. The next afternoon, I arrived at Riverside Gardens through the back entrance, the one only staff used. The property looked immaculate because I employed the best grounds crew in the state. The gardens were perfect, roses blooming in precise arrangements, the fountain I'd personally restored sparkling in the afternoon sun. Sophie met me in my private office, the one with my name on a brass plaque outside. They're in the main ballroom. Amanda, Marcus, their wedding planner Victoria, and your mother came along too. Perfect. I changed into one of my tailored business suits, the ones I kept at the office for meetings with corporate clients. Sophie and I walked down the marble hallway toward the ballroom, our heels clicking in sync. Through the open double doors, I could see Amanda directing her wedding planner, pointing at different areas with authority. The band goes here, cocktail tables there. And make sure they rope off that garden area. I don't want anyone wandering around unsupervised. Marcus was on his phone near the windows. I'm telling you, David, this place is bleeding us dry. Every conversation costs more money. My mother stood near the French doors looking uncomfortable. Victoria checked her tablet with frustration. The owner still hasn't confirmed the lighting package. I walked in, heels clicking on the hardwood floor, Sophie beside me, professional and composed. Amanda glanced over, annoyed. I'm sorry, but we're in the middle of a private walkthrough. You'll need to come back later. Actually, Sophie said smoothly, this is the owner. She's here for your meeting. The room went completely silent. Amanda's face shifted through confusion, disbelief, recognition, then something close to panic. What are you talking about? Hello, Amanda, I said calmly. I understand you had some concerns about our pricing. My mother's hand went to her mouth. Marcus actually stepped backward. You can't be serious, Amanda stammered. You work at some hotel. You're a manager or something. I own Riverside Gardens, I said clearly. I have for 6 years. Sophie handles day-to-day bookings, but I'm personally involved in every major event. Victoria looked between us with growing understanding. I've been trying to reach the owner for weeks. I know, I said. I've been following your requests through Sophie. The $12,000 in upgrades you wanted, that's actually under our standard pricing. I was going to approve it all. Marcus caught the past tense. This wedding is for 200 guests, correct? I asked. Victoria checked her tablet. Yes, 200 confirmed. I pulled out my phone showing screenshots. Yet my 2 children aren't on that list. My sister specifically told me they weren't worthy of attending. The room went cold. I can explain, Amanda started, her voice shaking. You said they didn't fit your aesthetic. That my son's hyperactivity and my daughter's volume might disrupt your event. You questioned whether I could afford to dress them appropriately for my own venue. My mother made a small sound. You all assumed I was barely getting by, I continued. You felt comfortable excluding my children because you thought I had no power here. No say. Marcus stepped forward. Look, we can add them to the guest list right now. No problem. That's not the point, I said quietly. You're standing in my venue, planning your wedding on my property, and you told me my children aren't good enough. Amanda's face crumbled completely. Please. I made a terrible mistake. They're invited. I want them there. Front row. Now you want them there, I said. Now that you know who signs your contract. Victoria cleared her throat. Perhaps we should discuss this privately? No need, I said. The contract stands. Your wedding will proceed as planned. My children will attend as guests, properly seated in the family section. And Victoria, those upgrades? Approved, no additional charge. Consider it a gift. Amanda looked like she might collapse. Thank you so much. I'm not doing this for you, I said quietly but firmly. I'm doing it because my children deserve to see that their mother isn't someone to be dismissed. That you don't exclude people because you think they lack power. I turned to Sophie. Please escort our clients to the parking area. I have other appointments. As I walked toward the door, my mother called my name, her voice breaking. I stopped but didn't turn around. Not today, Mom. My calendar is completely full. 3 days before the wedding, Emma and James tried on their formal outfits in my bedroom. Designer pieces I'd had tailored specifically for them by the same boutique Amanda had used for her bridesmaids. We look fancy, Emma said, spinning in front of my mirror. We are fancy, I corrected gently. We've always been. Some people just couldn't see it. On the wedding day, my children walked into Riverside Gardens like they belonged there. Because they did. Emma in her silk dress, James in his tailored suit, both holding their heads high. The coordinator, one of my staff who knew exactly who we were, escorted us to the front row. Right this way, family of the venue owner. When Amanda saw us, dressed impeccably, seated in the place of honor, her face showed exactly what I needed her to see. Recognition that she'd been wrong about everything. My children sat through that wedding with perfect posture, proving every assumption wrong. And I sat between them, watching my sister's perfect day unfold in my venue on my property by my grace. That was the real gift I gave her that day. Not forgiveness. Understanding that some people only see your worth when they can't ignore it anymore.